Left-handed people of Reddit, what are some annoying things designed for right-handed people? Classroom desks, especially the ones with the armrest on one side. Can openers, my spouse and I are both left-handed. Opening cans at our house is like giving birth. Writing from left to right always leaves marks all over the side of your left hand. It's hella annoying. Used to be annoyed that most mice were right-handed, until I tried using a mouse with my left hand. The most awkward minute and a half of my life. Writing things like birthday cards suck. Your hand just completely smudges the ink everywhere. Oh, and writing with fancy fountain pens. Smudges galore. Scissors and a can opener. I finally broke down one day and bought nice left-handed scissors. Started using them the wrong way at first because I was so used to using right-handed ones. Spontaneous games of baseball. If I am at a family gathering and someone suggests we go toss a ball around, I don't usually get to participate because nobody has an extra left-handed glove. Sickles. All I want to do is reap some nice grain, but nope. Ticket barriers at train stations. They're all designed for the ticket to be inserted by the right hand. Every time I have to take my ticket out with my left hand, pass it to my right to use. So annoying. Paint rollers when attached to an extension pole. They always get loose and fall off because the threading is right-handed. Same thing with brooms and some rakes. The sweeping motion unscrews the pole from the broom head. Smartwatches. Watches in general. Most of them have bezels on the wrong side if you wear your watches on your right hand. Seeing as I write with my left hand, I can't really wear watches on that wrist. It's incredibly frustrating. This is actually a really hard question for me to answer since I have been left-handed my whole life and I am used to it. Right-handed scissors don't bother me. Right-handed mice don't feel weird. I never told my piano teacher I was left-handed and I learned just fine. Probably just not being able to relate when people say their right arm hurts from fapping too much. An odd one. Buffet lines. The trays are sometimes angled so that they are more easily accessed by righties. But that means that I have to contort my left in front of my body in order to get to the food. Right-handed people also leave the serving utensil on the right side of the tray, so I reach across the food to get it. That's a small thing, but something I always notice. This is a bit weird, but ducking mugs. If you want a mug W, a quote or symbol from your favorite source of media, then your southpaw ass can eat it Methodica because the handle is on the wrong side so people will only see a blank mug, negating the whole purpose of buying it in the first place. And if you want a lefty version you have to ask, much like baseball gloves, and the answer is either there in the back, and we can't be asked to get it, or we don't have any in stock. Why do I even care about what's on my mug anyways? I'm just going to buy plain white ones from now. How about arm wrestling, guys? Spiral notebooks, scissors, and classroom desks. Spiral notebooks. Trying to write on the right side. I'm not left-handed, but I've had a ton of friends complain. Guns. All the switches for safety, fire mode etc are on the left side so that a right-handed thumb can flick them. Literally everything. Roughly 2,500 left-handed people die yearly from using products and machines intended for right-handed people. The whole world is ducked, especially if you're really bad with your right hand like some of us are. Writing. I have dragged my hand through a crazy amount of ink and graphite. Other things I notice are guns. The mag release and fire selectors are usually set for right-handed people, and the way shells eject from some rifles make them hit my right arm. Arm wrestling hurt. I won with my left, well I won with my right, like this has ever gone anywhere. Old scissors. The proper way of using eating utensil. A lot of motor skills things favor right. Mouses. Stick shifts. And also some cultures etiquette for shaking hands. OMG, have I got a story for you. So fencers, the white marshmallow people with swords, traditionally shake hands with their opponent after a bout. So here the thing though, your dominant side has your weapon, mask, glove and a wire, making it annoying to stop and disconnect, so lefties end up doing this awkward same side shake with their right hand and their opponent's left hand. And I swear, If I had $1 for every time they gasped and said that's why it was weird fencing you, when we get to the handshaking part, I'd be a rich gal. Emergency releases and diving equipment are set up for right-handers. Not sure if I'm just retarded, but I never could cut paper stuff properly, if at all, with scissors. Pottery wheels, golf clubs, scissors, can openers, peelers. Just in the last year I realized why a potato peeler never worked for me. It is only serrated on the wrong side. Ducking everything. Can openers, chainsaws. Which direction we write. The direction to open jars and stuff. Gun loading mechanisms. Video game controllers. Computer setups. Instruments. I'm one of those weird lefties. I write and use cutlery left-handed, but do everything else right-handed, including throwing a baseball, using scissors, firing a rifle, etc. So there's nothing I can think of that's an inconvenience. But I guess it also begs the question, am I a true lefty? Fellow lefties, please feel free to let me know. I must know. Edit. As an aside, among other things, I can't throw a football or baseball left-handed to save my life. This will get lost, but sitting at a table, you right-handers don't realize that all left-handers will always position themselves so they are at an end before people sit. We won't say anything or make a fuss. It just happens. You don't even notice it. In the event that we are next to a right-handed person on our left, we still keep our arms close to our bodies and be extra careful not to get in the way of the person next to us. Then if we do bump elbows, we will apologize, sorry I'm left-handed. As a physician assistant, suturing is really a right-handed task. It's taught by right-handed people and the knots are all right-handed knots. Being left-handed makes this a very awkward task, especially when someone's life is on the line. Duck it. I just practiced both ways until I had it down. Now I have a skill that lets me suture in any position, which is pure gold in the emergency department. The trauma table gets crowded and cramped and people actually look at me sideways to see what I'm doing sometimes. Lefty for the win. Notebooks. I'm tired of lifting my arm or getting marks on my wrist. Ducking books to write in with the metal spiral binder thing. It's impossible unless I deform my hand. Anything involving writing. All lefties writing in pencil have to drag their hand through the writing, resulting in a black lead covered hand. Scissors. People don't realize that the way scissors are designed, pressure is applied the way you hold them, pushing the blades together. When you switch hands, the pressure is switched, pushing the blades apart and allowing paper to slip between them. Writing. On a whiteboard or chalkboard, you spend most of the time wiping it off on accident with your hand. If you use an inky pen, you'll smudge the words. Also, another annoying thing is that because I'm left-handed, I'm going to hell. Seems unfair if you ask me. Scissors. Most people don't have lefty ones. Those itty school desks with only an armrest on the right side. Duck those. Not a common problem, but popcorn scoopers. They're strictly designed to hold with your right hand. No way around it. And ducking can openers. Duck that. I get annoyed from some computer games key configuration. I learned to use a mouse with my left hand because it felt natural to me. So I move the bindings from WASD to OKL, or to the number pad. Also, those school table chair things that have a place for your arm on the right annoy me. However, when I am tired, I can just prop my head up against my arm while writing. Hard to find left-handed epic gaming mice, and they are not cheap. Right-handed people are annoying during dinner, when they sit next to me on the left. Scissors. Nearly every bloody pair of scissors. Being forced to write with ink pens at school, and then punished every day because my page was smeared and messy. A gel pen. They used to be the only pens we could use for in-class essays, and since their ink never damn dries out, my essay would look like words and smudges of black ink everywhere, and then my teachers would tell me to have a better presentation with them. Repeat for next essay. Lefty here. Whiteboard pro tip: when writing, don't rest your hand and wrist on the board. Angle the marker up with your grip, extending the tip above your wrist instead of your grip being parallel to your wrist. Your hand and wrist will not rest on the board at all. so it's mildly uncomfortable for long periods. But hey, no smudging. Haven't seen this one yet. So, milk. To have the label face forward you need to either grab the milk right-handed or awkwardly put it back. Sounds like NBD. But when I worked as a barista people would be constantly pissed if I didn't put the milk back in the right way. It normally isn't a big deal, but if you're living a gallon of milk in and out of a fridge 100 times a day, your wrist hurts a lot by the end. I wish I wasn't so late for this. Something I don't see anyone mentioning is playing cards. Playing cards are made for right-handed people in that the pips, number and suit are on the top left and bottom right. This is so when you fan them, you see the pips and know what you are holding. But when I fan them in my left-handed fashion, all I see is white. I can look at the bottom and see upside down numbers, but it's less than ideal. People never understood why I had trouble with 6s and 9s. Scissors. I seriously blame my poor achievements in arts and crafts on ducking right-handed scissors. I'm right-handed but my favorite goddamn mug is left-handed, so only I can see that I'm drinking more your tea. The English writing system. No matter what writing instrument I use, I always manage to smear a word or two across the page. I've taken to filling out paper forms from right to left so I don't ruin them. Mugs that have some kind of print on them. The handle is always to the right of the print so I have to hold it looking at a blank mug. I know this is such a first world problem but the principle of it pisses me off.